My name is Steve Peterson.
And I am Jack Hinkle.
That was an awful.
That was like when you ask the kids to sing and they're like, sing F. But they go, "Ah." Kids, we're going to sing the pitch right on it today. Okay, Steve, it's Monday. I thought you were going to have a sarcastic response to that. Gee, is it Jack?
Gee, is it
Gee,
Jack?
is it?
No, wow, look at us go. 20% of the week's already over.
Oh, thank God. No, wait. Hey, no. It's like 25 because we got a half day Wednesday.
Oh.
It's okay. The second half of the day, we're going to do meetings. And you can get volcanoes if you want. You see that in the minute?
I
They'll bring
did.
you in volcanoes.
Paid for.
Oh. By you.
Oh. I'll have my chicken sausage and quinoa.
That'd be funny if, though, half the staff filled out that thing. They're like, sweet, this is awesome. And you owe us $10.
Okay, I'm not going to get into that. Okay, so, well, they shouldn't pay our lunch.
I already meal prepped. Dude, I prepped 14 meals yesterday.
Apparently, Jack has 5 kids at home we don't know about. Really?
Yeah, dude. Was it 14? It was like a lot. I made a bunch of lunches and a bunch of dinners. I'm like ready for the week, dude. I'm ready. We got burrito bowls and we got honey garlic chicken thighs, broccoli,
Wait,
carrots,
did you
rice.
make those with the honey garlic?
Yeah.
Do you really put honey and then garlic? Is that like as easy as that
Are you
sounds?
like judging me? You sound like you're not like in belief of my
No,
cooking
is it
skills.
a sauce that you made?
Yes, well,
Or is
it's
it like
it's a
some,
recipe.
Like
no,
Lowry's
I don't
honey
buy it in
something?
a jar and pour it on, bro. I was mincing garlic like no one's business yesterday. Fresh garlic, peel it.
Well, for the record, I don't think a lot of people are mincing garlic on Sunday, so I think you had sole,
Okay,
ownership
people
in
are
first place.
sleeping on garlic, dude. If you use fresh,
Well-
you and I have talked about this before.
That's true.
Garlic, that
Garlic.
stuff is legit. You
Yeah, but-
fry that up,
Oh, it makes your house smell amazing
yes, until you don't want to smell it anymore. and
until
it
it's
doesn't
on
go
your
away.
fingertips. Do you have one of those things that looks like a bar of soap, but it's like metal that you rub in your hands and it makes the smell go away? You don't.
I have
That's
no
what I need
idea.
to get
That sounds
Jack.
painful,
No, it looks like an aluminum oval bar of soap.
but it's metal.
Aluminum, metal, but yeah, it's super smooth. So it's kind of like a stone.
That sounds painful.
No, it's like smooth, and you rub it like you would a bar of soap just over your hands.
And it makes your hands stop smelling.
Yes, like especially from onions and garlic.
Huh. I just use Dawn dish soap.
Dawn does do the trick.
Yeah,
'cause
you can't
there's-
use regular like hand washing
right.
soap.
You need the oil. The Dawn
Yeah.
gets rid of the oil.
Yeah.
Yeah. To its credit, garlic is exceptional.
I'm upset that you didn't believe me that I'm like you.
Well,
we
I
talk
thought you
about
had a
cooking
bottle.
very often. No, why? When you know me, When have I ever like skimped out on stuff like that, dude? I mince garlic. I put honey, soy sauce, a little bit of brown sugar.
Okay.
That's legit. It's legit.
'Kay.
Coming at me. Okay, today we're talking about planning.
Jack planned for 800 meals. Okay. Planning.
And all I have to do is take it out of the fridge every morning on my way to work. Easy planning. Steve, are you a good planner? That's like such a loaded question. Okay, Steve teaches his best lessons with A, lots of plan, B, a little plan, C, very little plan. When do you teach your best lessons?
C, very little plan.
Why is that?
Although, I know the island I'm getting to. I just don't know how I'm going to get to that island. So it allows me to have a little freedom in the way I'm getting there.
So you set the destination, but you do not route the path.
Boom. I see it on Google Maps or Apple Maps, but I did not choose the correct path yet. So I don't
You're
know.
like, okay, that's where we're going.
Is it taking
Okay.
3 hours or 5 hours? I don't know. Let's find
We
out.
going the scenic route? We taking highways? I don't know.
But
Okay.
let me be clear,
Please.
Chops Nation. I'm an ensemble that sits down in front of me. I feel more comfortable doing that. An ensemble that marches around outside, I don't feel comfortable doing that.
Mm. Mm.
So like jazz band, I'm very comfortable saying like you and I kind of do the same thing. When class shuts down, we go into our Google Slides and type in what we're doing the next day.
Yeah.
But I know that I have 2 items. I have my warm-up, 2 items, and a listing for tomorrow. 4 activities. And I know what those are. I have no idea how I'm going to work on them.
Mm. But you know it's going to get better by the
I
time
know
you
it's
leave.
going to get better. I know what kind of things we have to work on. I know what kind of concepts we have to work on. I know like rhythmically what we have to work on. I know style-wise what we have to work on. I know if I have to play or we have to sing.
And you've done that for like 20 years.
I got that.
Yeah.
I feel okay with that. But I don't feel and it's not winging it.
No, it's not.
Winging it is like, oh, what do you want to do? I don't know. Let's just do this. I know what I'm working on, but I just don't know exactly how it's going to get done.
And also to be clear, the kids would never think that you don't have a plan.
No.
They always feel like they're taken care of in jazz
Yes,
band with you.
yes.
Speaking from experience.
Jack was in my jazz band. He was.
Back in the day. So you do not feel the same way about marching band.
No.
Okay, this is kind of gross. You got
Bugs?
yeah.
Yeah, I figured that out, dude. I had this last week, the little bugs came out, the black bugs.
Yeah, they were
They
back.
came
They came
back?
back for round 2.
Yeah.
Bugageddon.
I
The
don't
sequel.
usually wash this only about once a year. I think I did wash it last week, though. It's
Yeah,
very
there's one
old.
on your back. I just was like, that's kind of poetic since we've talked about those bugs on the
Yeah,
podcast. And
this
it came
sweatshirt's
back.
been around. Okay. Well, marching band is a cruise ship.
Yeah, back to that. Yeah,
Right.
yeah,
So it's
yeah.
hard, if
And you got co-captains.
you got a lot of
Or you got a
captains.
crew.
You got a
should
crew.
say.
So jazz band, 20 students, you can whip that thing around in the bay and you're bopping over waves and you can go really fast and then immediately stop and pivot and turn and jump out and jump back in and do all this kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And that's speedboat. But you can't really do that with a group that large outside and then expect all the passengers to be safe. You don't want to be like whipping the steamliner around and kids falling off and, tables turning over and people rolling out of their beds and their cabins.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't have that figured out yet in my mind because it's a different pacing. It's a different skill.
Now, you do plan,
I do plan.
and you collaborate with your plan, because I was at this table about 4 hours ago at a lunch meeting
Yep.
with you and the other 4 directors of the Marching Minutemen.
Yep.
And this is like our Monday tradition, a lunchtime meeting while we eat and talk about what we're going to do for the week. And it's usually Steve sends an email out Sunday night.
That
says-
Jack doesn't read.
You think I don't read my emails?
You don't check
Oh,
your
so I was
email.
mincing
on
garlic yesterday. No, I did. I did read that email. I'm the guy. I can't. We've talked about this, but I can't do the notifications. I need to open them. I need to see what's going on. So
Gosh, I hate looking at my email on Sundays.
then why do you send them? Sorry, that sounded like really snotty. You kind of. I feel bad about that one. I want to take that back.
Because I wonder if people are going, I wonder what we're going to do next week. And out of respect for the people that start teaching at 8:00 in the morning, maybe they won't have time to look at it,
That's fair.
and then they have time just to at least look at it.
I do appreciate having an understanding of what's going on the day before. I do read it. I do.
Thank
Even
you.
while I'm mincing the garlic. So we talked.
We are not getting anything done on this episode. We are just we're just
Kind of ironic when we're talking about planning.
no. Okay,
No, we're going through the process, Steve. We're going through the planning process. Is that what you want?
yes.
We sat
Steve's grumpy.
We sat at this table, and Steve sent out the email the day before of the plan for the week, and that's what we're going to talk about.
Yes.
And Steve says, "Hey, all, see you at lunch tomorrow. Have a look at this. Let me know your thoughts." And then we talk about what we need, because maybe our percussion director, Mr. Allman, will say, "I want some times with the drums to do this," or Ms. Surface, our guard director, will say, "I want some time with the guard to do this. Can we have some time here?" And we build it into the weekly plan. it's easier for the 4 woodwind brass directors because we're usually working on similar things and have to teach the same content.
Okay.
And our kids are always kind of in the same area. But when you're planning with the team, it's helpful to have time to talk about those things, a consistent time to talk about those things, and then we can put that plan into action as we go. That plan's kind of like a long ball. Like, we have a competition on Saturday, so where do we want to be on Saturday to be able to perform that? And we have our Wednesday is our long evening rehearsal, and we kind of plan the front half of the week to what can we want to accomplish when we leave the field at 9 p.m. on Wednesday evening.
Right.
So there's like a long ball towards Saturday, but like a mid ball to Wednesday.
And we don't want to add anything new after Wednesday.
Right. We are in the midst of choreo and cleaning. The kids can, I'm going to use air quotes, march and play the whole show.
Right.
Because we've taught everything and they've done it. But now we're at the point where we're putting the pieces together and we're adding some finishing touches. So tonight we were talking about choreography, and we had an impromptu planning session in my office next door with Mrs. Now, saying, how are we teaching this? What are we doing? And we're always tweaking that plan.
Yes.
Always.
Yes.
That's our planning sequence.
Yes.
Right? And right now we're in like the short game of planning because we're looking like week to week, day to day. What do we want to do? But you did a lot of long ball planning. I remember you had your cute little planner, right?
Yeah.
You still use that thing?
I do.
That's like your teddy bear for a while. You were like carrying that thing everywhere.
I had it by the month, by the week, by the day.
And you said, this day we're going to have this much done. And you like wrote 2 weeks ahead of that. You're like, we're going to have this movement done with drill. And you have drill getting here. And it was like total plan.
Mm-hmm.
And that was like the basis for what we wanted to do this year.
Right.
Yeah.
That's true.
That's legit. You got to give yourself more credit.
Okay.
You know how to plan.
Oh, look at me.
Look at you, buddy.
Look at me. Look at me. Okay, so when you plan, you know where you're going. And some of our colleagues like to write out things like specifically, like maybe minute by minute.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
And that would be like colleagues all over the school.
Yep. That's kind of how you're taught to plan, right? Like when you go to college and you have to do lesson plans, like you were taught to kind of sculpt it by the minute.
I think and then some people still do that. They're more specific with themselves. And then, we try to, like, if you're at a 3-hour rehearsal, you can't just say what you're going to get done. You need to give yourself like time limits.
Well, especially when you work with 6 other adults.
Right.
There has to be some consistency of when you want to get
when
together.
You want to do things.
Yeah. But yeah, if you're teaching by yourself, I don't normally do the minute thing.
No.
Unless I'm like, well, you and I got into that sometimes when we're team teaching in concert band.
Yep.
Just to help the other out so we know how much time we have to work on our thing. Like if I was teaching a tune with wind ensemble or you were teaching one with symphony,
yes,
we would do that sometimes.
Right.
But more often than not, yeah, I don't use the minute sculpting stuff by myself. Do you?
No, because it just gets way out of whack.
Yeah.
Like you think you're going to spend 3 minutes on something and you spend 15, and then you think you're going to spend 15 minutes on something and it takes 20 seconds. And so it's like, it's more important about what you want to get done, not how are you going to do it. But that being said, I think it's easier to say that philosophy works for somebody that has more experience.
Yes.
And I think our college university systems helped us plan by the minute to help us build up those routines and kind of get an idea of how long everything takes.
Okay, and planning looks very different if you're a young teacher versus a veteran teacher.
Yes.
Right? I mean, I think if you're a young teacher, you spend as much time planning as you do teaching.
Yes.
If you're a veteran teacher, I imagine there's not a lot of planning going on. Mostly because you've probably taught everything you've already are teaching.
Right.
You've already done that at some point. If you're teaching like a content-based class like math or science, that like math doesn't change from year to year. You can recycle your slides.
Right. It is interesting. Like if you're teaching algebra, the algebra doesn't change and your amount of time doesn't change, and the level of the students is basically the same, right?
Yeah.
But if you're like working in band, orchestra, choir, the concepts don't change And the application, though, is different each time
Right.
depending on what music you're playing. And then, depending on what kind of music and the age ability of the group, then you're like studying the music, studying the score, and trying to make sense of it.
Okay, this is kind of a hot take, but I do think there become some diminishing returns when it comes to planning.
Because,
If you spend a lot of time on a plan
yeah.
because you want it to just be really good and you want to know exactly what you're doing like every minute of a class period,
Right.
you're going to be too focused on the plan while you're teaching.
Yes.
And some people, that's how they roll. And maybe like you doing that, like you spending a lot of time on a plan helps you in the class. But if you have to like keep looking at your plan, doesn't that kind of detract from the lesson? Like a plan shouldn't be so complicated that you have to check it multiple times during a lesson, unless you're doing like I would say a marching band rehearsal. You got to look at the plan as you go, just to know what's coming next to like
Yes.
take care of your staff.
Yes. Charting the course.
Yes, but if you're in a 50-minute math class, other than looking from bullet A to bullet B to bullet C,
Right.
you shouldn't be looking at how you're going to teach something.
Right.
Then you've lost the kids, and you don't. If you have to look at how to teach something, you probably don't know how to teach it that well.
I think so.
And you gotta teach like you're you know. So I say that because I think I was a victim of that. I was a victim of over planning.
You're not
I
anymore?
thought you were gonna affirm me for that. I thought you
You're
were gonna say it's okay, Jack. It's okay.
Wait, when was that, though?
I would say when I was like a young teacher, first 1 or 2 years. Dude, I remember for our Sinfonietta rehearsals, dude, I would plan so much, and then I'd get out of there, and you'd be like, Jack, what was that? like, dude, I don't know. I planned. But, like, you put so much effort into planning because you want the class to go well, but then you spend so much time on the plan, you're worried about how you're going to teach it when you're there, and then you're just overthinking everything, and just teach. Obviously, that was my experience, and obviously that there are going to be teachers listening to this and be like, that's not me, dude. That's crazy that you tried really hard to plan and this was still bad. And that's my experience. But I am not a person that I can, like, chart the course, as you said, like, know the entire route that you're going to get there. I need to know the destination.
But
and
you're really good at that because you put that out on a document or something. You plan that out.
And I don't even use it. That's the thing. Like, it's my safety net, because I've talked about this before, that I have like my semester map where I have, after every week, I have my benchmarks of where I'm going to be. I made that for this year for the jazz bands. Dude, I haven't looked at that document in a month and a half. I made it at the beginning just so I'd feel okay, but now I'm like, I think we're okay. Like, we're gonna
Jack
make
is
it there.
taking care of Future Jack. You should write a children's book. It's called Future Jack.
Future Jack. Well, that sounds like a fascinating story.
But see, that's good, though, because then you already have an idea of where you're going.
Right. So
And you don't even have to look at a calendar or a doc to figure it out.
No.
Because you know in your mind, you can kind of see the calendar up in your brain, and then you can see the tunes that you're playing.
Right.
And you're like, am I close?
Our jazz concert's November 20th. Is that right?
Mm-hmm.
So I think I wanted to have all the tunes like that we can play them down pretty cleanly, like 2 weeks before.
Yep.
And then we can do the finishing touches, really make the soloist sparkle, rhythm
Yep.
section sparkle the last 2 weeks.
Right.
And I think I'm still on pace to have our tunes pretty much playable
Yep.
in 3 weeks.
That's good.
So I mean,
have to figure out what we're playing.
I thought you did. I thought you were doing chronometry.
I am, but okay. Can I tell you a hot take?
Hot take.
You got glitter on your nose. I don't know what you've been looking at, but
Is that really?
hey, these Chops mugs are a year old. I bought them on PSAT day.
Oh my gosh, PSAT. That's coming back up. I remember you coming in with that box. That was nice.
Yeah,
That was a nice touch.
okay. Wait, what was I going to say?
Your hot take about your jazz
Oh.
tunes.
What if I play 4 tunes?
What, you think you're better than the rest of us?
Yep. Nope.
Steve comes in.
Nope.
Hey, jazz 2, jazz 3, what up?
No, it's more of like functionality.
How so?
We're playing a second line tune like you are. Yours is called Spread Joy. Spread Your Joy.
Share
Share your gifts. That too. Share your gifts. Ours is called Hullabaloo.
Yeah.
Then our second tune, you're playing one of your bands is you're playing a ballad or
That
a
warm
swingy
feeling.
by Sammy Nestico. It's really pretty. And then we're playing a bossa nova with a male singer, Polka Dots and Moonbeams.
I
Right?
don't know how that one goes. Are you gonna sing?
Polka Dots and Moonbeams. Yeah, it's nice. We're doing that. And then we're doing a tune called Chronometry by a composer called Fred Sturm.
Love Fred Sturm.
And Fred Sturm is like, there's like a lot of fusion.
Very quintal.
Yeah. It's like
Quintal harmonies.
very rhythmic, hence chronometry, kind of electronic sounding. Right. Right?
Yeah.
And it actually is a samba, but it's kind of a little bit more agitated, right?
And then Splanky? Is that your fourth?
No.
You broke up
maybe
with Splanky.
Yeah. Royal Garden Blues.
Oh yeah.
Just for fun.
Wait, and I sing
That's
it.
the Dixieland. Bum, bum, ba-dum, ba-dum, bum, ba-dum. But it's a B-flat blues, which is kind of like welcoming.
Yeah.
And it's a Dixieland tune.
Close with that?
Yeah.
Okay.
I have some other ideas, but I'm not going to say them on air. I'll talk to you backstage about it. I got some other ideas.
I don't want our ops listening behind back.
Or even our buds. Okay, so what does your plan look like when you walk into a jazz band? How do the kids know what they're doing?
I have the plan on the screen,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm trying to go through a slide detox. Dude, I had to parse things down. My music theory slides, I was in like the 230s. I had that many slides on my music theory slideshow.
But that's like for the semester? Or for the year?
it was I would just do a new slide for every day. So after 180 days, I had 180 slides. And I was like, I need to calm down. I just need to slow down and just do one slide.
Okay.
Few
Go
ones.
back to jazz band.
Jazz
When I
band.
open up Google Slides
Yeah.
for you and I open up Jazz 2, how many slides are in that?
Fewer. Far fewer.
Like how many?
40.
40 slides.
Well, some of them you see them, I have like music on them, or I have like scales on them that we
Okay.
go through and play. And I have some of them are just notes to myself. Like if I want to like I had a slide of like tunes I could play and just like 10 names with links to like Pepper that I
Okay.
could just go listen to them. But the kids see one slide and it says Jazz 2 Monday. And then on the top right there's like random announcements. So like this student needed to get a metformin. This student was missing their Pick It Up 3.0. They need to turn it in. I had that up there for the kids to see so they remember to do that stuff. And there will be concert dates on there eventually. On the main body of the slide, it says like first bullet, what up? Second bullet, arpeggios, swing rhythms, bops. And they know those are like
Okay.
exercises we do. Then it'll say like kicks head, comma, kicks, solo section, new slide. That warm feeling, A to B,
Wait, new slide?
or new line.
Okay.
That warm feeling, A to B, intonation focus.
Okay.
Share your gift head. Share your gift. Solo section. Takers, question mark. And then it says pick it up 4.0 out today, due Friday, smiley face.
Okay. So you have like 7 things on there that you're going through: warm up, focus on tunes, and you have your own language abbreviations.
Yeah.
That the kids know what it is, and then you have it figured out.
And even if they don't, honestly, that slide can be more for me than it is
Sure.
for them.
And they don't have to know because you're going to take them with you anyway.
Right.
Okay. So you got that.
Yeah.
But then you said you had like 200 slides for music theory. And I've seen your slides for music theory because you got a ton of stuff on there. Which, okay, so 2 different ways. Okay, so if you had 180 days of teaching music theory, that means like from last year, you have your lesson plans.
Yeah, but I don't follow those.
But you don't
anymore.
follow
Not
them.
for AP. I can't do that.
But what about regular theory?
I don't really follow them either. The vibe of the class last year was very different than the vibe of the class this year, and I don't want to do the activities I did last year because it won't work with the class I have this year.
Okay.
So I'm trying to change it up. But can I tell you about AP?
Please.
Okay. So I do have my semester map for AP, and I say hi to that thing like every day.
Yeah.
And I used to have a lot more time in my day because of my old schedule that I could be very intentional about how I plan. I don't have that luxury anymore. So I go to the theory map and I update that every week. And AP Advanced Placement has like a course guide where they tell you how much you need to get done in how much time.
Okay.
And I like update that every week, and I say by the end of the week, here's what I need to have taught. And then I have like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday as like a horizontal row, and I put in each day at the end of the previous week what I'm going to teach. And if I'm assigning homework, which day that is. So there's like one little row per week.
Okay.
And I screenshot that row,
You're right.
and then I drag it into the slide,
Okay.
and I put it at the bottom. So that's for me.
Okay.
So I can see, and at the end of that class, I just update that slide with the next day's box.
Okay.
And put that in. And then if there's any assignments, I'll put them in on that box.
But when you have new materials, though, then you already have that slide, or you just draw it.
I just draw it, dude. I've been doing a lot of drawing. I don't use my content that I already have. I'd rather take the kids through it. And then I always have some dumb, I shouldn't say dumb, some silly music theory meme.
Eat meme jokes and stuff like that, right?
Like last week, it was a picture of the B movie,
Right.
but it said the C flat movie.
Right.
Classic.
Right.
Classic.
Okay.
So that's what mine looked like.
Gotcha.
What about you?
Well, for AP theory, I did mine kind of different, and during COVID, I finished this. Right? So you and I have like been through like different variations of how we're going to teach AP theory, right?
I've only
Books
been
or-
through one.
Huh?
I've only been through
I
one.
know, but we've talked about like, using books or using online resources
Yeah,
and
yeah.
like, using our own college textbooks and
Yeah.
right, whatever. So mine is like I took a book and then I basically made a Google slide for every, I had a packet for every chapter,
Okay.
right?
Yeah, yeah.
So then I knew exactly what was in chapter 1. I had that slide presentation in chapter 2, and it was
Oh,
the
yeah, yeah.
synthesis of each chapter in the book that I was using, right?
You're a baller teacher.
Right? So then I would just put like on my topic slide for today is blah, 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 blah. This is what we're doing. We're singing sight singing number 2. We're doing oral dictation or rhythmic dictation number 3, and then we're going to do these slides. So the content was there, but then I had the agenda on a moving slide.
Okay.
Piano, I kind of got away from slides in piano because I had the whole book outlined. I had like 100 slides. But then once you could start drawing on stuff, once the iPad
Oh,
and all
yeah.
that stuff, then it just I was like, it doesn't matter. Like I can
It doesn't
move this up.
Piano is to us like algebra is to the math teachers, right?
Mhm.
It's the same book, and that's a great book. Dude, I like know the page numbers. I was like, we're going to turn to interval etude on page 48. Please flip the page to La Cha-Cha on page 50. Notice they're similar. I'm like doing this in my sleep. Yeah, that one. And you can use the same jokes in that class for the billionth time, and the kids think it's funny.
Yep.
Gosh, that is luscious. That's how regular teachers
same
must feel.
thing every time.
Every time. Yeah. But the iPad is a game changer in there with the Apple TV because now I just take pictures of the book and then do the markup thing and then just like right on the
Yep.
screen. And then I've told you my fun of putting the kids' screens up on the TV.
Yeah, so you
and
can see them.
So you can see them and see what's going on. So
Yep.
yeah.
Yep.
The
But
more you teach a class, the less you have to plan for
Exactly.
it.
But
Right?
then on like jazz band, I'm sure you draw on Apple TV, but it's not as much. But the planning that comes in for us or the tool that we use a lot is playing our instruments.
Yeah, we do that.
Right. You and I play our saxophone and trumpet in class each day, and so that becomes part of the lesson plan, like someone like me.
Yeah. Yes. I mean, when you have your horn down there as a jazz teacher, that honestly, that solves a lot of problems.
Yep.
Because you don't have to speak. It doesn't have to be louder, shorter, fat. You just play it back how you want it to sound. And if you teach your kids how to listen and match you, that is a gift that keeps on giving.
Right.
Because I'm hoping, too, like now that we kind of have some runway with Jazz 3, Jazz 2, Jazz 1, that I hope, like, when my kids kind of get shipped off to you, that and you say, play it like me, they can do it like that.
Yes. Right. Exactly. I told them the other day that, I still take, we have. I mean, you have a lot of warm ups that you do, but we maybe have like 5 different kind of warm up sequences we use, and I usually do a lot of call and response, like I play it, you play it, I play it, you play it. And then I told them the other day, I said one like rabbit hole of YouTube I really enjoy watching are comedians that do impressions, and then they tell you how they do the impression.
Oh, okay.
Like why this is funny, or like what physical trait they're doing.
Okay.
So like right now with the presidential election, obviously there's plenty of
Who are they imitating?
like Trump.
Okay, just checking.
Got it.
And
Trump.
who else? Harris, probably.
Kamala Harris, right? So Kamala, sorry. But so there's all those federal candidates, right? But then you watch all the comedians do them, right? And some of them are like spot on, and some of them are just funny because they're funny. But then they talk about like what they're doing with their face or their teeth or their hand gestures or their cadence or how they stand.
Sure.
And they're like, this is why, this is what you do. And then they show something of Joe Biden, and they show the comedian like doing an imitation. See like how they do that. And I said, so I think that's really fun. I said, so think about that. I want you guys to imitate me. So I use that like, you're trying to be like me. You're trying to imitate me. And I said, and I wasn't trying to be cocky. I was just like, I'm better than you as far as like stylistically, I can play this. And I said, it would be great if you could like imitate me. So I do play them slightly different every time. And just do some inflections different or some falls or whatever and dynamics, and want them to do that they can follow me and really try to pick up like, what is that he's doing? Why does that sound that way? And then they play it back to me. So that was my little analogy of a comedian doing a impression, right?
That makes sense.
Yeah. But that's it. Speaking of planning, though, that is something that we know that we have in our repertoire to use.
Well, and you and I have both taught the after-school jazz band, Club 406.
Yes.
And that, I play, you play. That is my plan for like 3 or 4 or 5 rehearsal warm-ups, like because they got to get that stuff down.
Right.
And then you kind of move on more to content.
Right. And that happens to line up with one of our school teaching goals, which is called gradual release.
The GRM.
Right?
Gradual release.
Which is I do, we do, you do. Which is exactly what we do
all the time.
All the time in
jazz band.
In jazz band.
And in piano.
I play, we play, you play.
Do that in music theory. Like, okay, watch me write this, like, make this interval.
Yes.
7 half steps.
Right.
Okay. Count it on the piano. Perfect fifth. Okay. Do it together. Okay. You do it. All the time. All the time. And we've talked about this more, dude. A lot of what I'm doing right now is do it again.
Yep.
I mean, even if they get it right, do it again. I want my kids to the quote is like, professionals don't practice until they get it right. They practice until they can't get it wrong.
Right.
Like you've heard that phrase before.
Yep.
I'm trying to get that stuff going with my classes right now. All the time. What is that? Is that an instrument or a human?
I think it's like a
Sounds
baby
like a
seal.
dog dying in the band room. Someone's playing really high or
Okay, speaking of dogs, my dog did not die. I don't think so. But apparently, I talked to my wife today. Not apparently, I did talk to my wife. But we had some trees trimmed on the property. And Oliver was just going bananas. Like, he could not handle it. There were, like, people. There was, like, a cherry picker in the backyard. Like, and there was,
and
there
he's
was,
like,
ornamental
Bark City.
trees up. And they're, like, doing this. And there's people in the driveway. And he's just... And then there was a red tag sale, like an estate sale, like 2 days out of the last week.
Dude, that is a busy neighborhood
And
for a
Oliver
dog.
is just like, what is going on? What is going on? What is going on?
Dad,
Dad,
go
you
outside.
see this?
Let's go outside. Dad, come on. Dad.
Dad, you see this? You know. So he needs to calm down.
It's true.
Okay. So planning is good, but it can take on a lot of different manifestations.
But don't plan too much.
But know where you're going.
Know where you're going.
And
give yourself some freedom to get there.
And then put in some fun things along the way that some different tactics that you can use.
I like it.
Right?
I like it.
We got to go eat.
Yeah, we do. Hey, keep giving us reviews. Keep rating us. We're trying to get this thing off the ground.
Yep.
Lots of stars.
We're like a World War I fighter plane. Like one wing is trying to get
With like 12,000 bullet holes in it.
exactly.
Yeah. Stars on Apple, Spotify, and subscribe to us on YouTube, even if you don't even watch YouTube. Follow us on Apple and Spotify, and then follow us on TikTok and Instagram. And if you like us and want us to keep getting big, repost and share. That's like where it hits.
Right.
Because we're just an algorithm. That's all Chops is. All we're here for is for the likes and the subs and the comments.
And the money.
And the money. Hope we see some someday.
We might.
That's
Okay,
it.
it's time to go eat.
Time to go eat my minced garlic.
Time to go eat my chicken sausage and quinoa.
Oh, that is healthy. Quinoa? Good for you, man. You look really excited about quinoa.
Wah, wah. Okay, for Steve Peterson,
And Jack Finkel.
we're out of here.